frame. You know, guys, you can't control it when the V'ger energy orb comes out of the night sky. I was just right here, and a big blue ball comes into the sky, and everything went off. But luckily, I redistributed my mass, and now I'm back.
What Samuel's saying is he got attacked by blue balls.
Singular.
Yes, singular. Looks like it's reconnecting. There we go. Yeah, so we had a PC crash, so we're back, guys.
It's happening quite regularly, but not regularly enough, if that makes sense.
Justin says first. Did I read the second super chat? I hope I did, because it's gone.
I don't even know, Stuart. I'll be honest. I think you said, and now...
Well, I mean, I was going into the evidence about V'ger, so I think I already read it. But, yeah. Hopefully it's the same video you shared, and people can find it. But anyway, we're back. So we'll wait to get a few numbers here before I continue.
Can't win.
No, but we try.
But it does say we're like it does understand that. No, it doesn't. That's that one. I will swap the links around on the to the tube. I mean the Facebook.
All right.
I mean, feel free to reiterate the thing a little bit.
The purpose of this discussion.
Yeah, might as well. Because, like I said, I do think it's a genuine theory that genuinely could be a payoff.
Yeah, well, I want to get a few more people here, but hopefully people can find us again and find the way back to the stream. Come back to the fold. Captain is very loud suddenly. Oh, of course it screwed up our audio. Good God.
See, now you see how not changing the settings whatsoever, it changes the settings for us, as in the way it interacts. I'd load them a little bit, tell us how it sounds. Can't win.
Well, yeah. Just let us know about the audio levels, guys. And
the links.
Waiting for more people to get here, because that sucked.
Well, why don't we talk briefly then about our game show idea then, briefly.
Well, it was your idea. You talked to it.
Okay, so in this time of uncertainty and strangeness, obviously we still provide the Trek content that you'll like and hopefully rely on for your Trek goodness, but that is coming to an end quite soon, and after that we don't want to leave you hanging, we don't want to, go out of your consciousness, because we rely on your views, your support, your communication, and we love these chats. While draining, we have some amazing moments in these moments, and so I had the idea of doing some online game show style content, and by that I mean there's a series of Steam games called the Jackbox Selection. They've made many over the last couple of years, and there's a plethora, about 30 games, 25 games, whatever, of varying different styles, between sort of Pictionary style, a lying, a trivia, very elaborate, very simple, a whole lot of different things. And what's great is that they're party games, exactly as they say on the tin, and they're meant to be played obviously in a sort of front room with many people on a phone. All one person has to have is own the game, which I do, and anyone in the world can access it for free via a mobile phone, as long as you've got either Wi-Fi or whatever. I guess you need also a screen to watch it, so I guess you have to be at a PC or a TV as well. And the idea is that we'll do these sort of game show nights or afternoons, and you guys can join in and both be in the chatting, be in the audience in the game, where you can actually join the lobby and vote and give bonus points. That's the thing. Or as a lot of the games are up to 8 player, it'll be 6 of you can join every round to be playing with us the game, and a couple of them we can customize to be Star Trek, which is quite exciting, and just have some game night style thing. And if you guys would like to come into that, I think that'd be fun. And we don't just have to talk about Star Trek. I think we as a community, we've built this up over the last 5.5 years, and be able to talk to you and hang out with you, but also have fun, because I mean we were doing a test earlier and trying to talk about vaguely what you thought of the test, how that felt.
It was good. It was fun. I don't want to get into too much of it. People were like hanging there, and we were into the discussion.
I know, but only 99 people. So.
Well, everybody hit like.
Yeah. Have you told the other stream? Have you?
I don't have the other stream up. All I've got is this one up.
I'll swap to the video, and then you can probably comment on it.
But it's not even live right now. I just checked this live, so.
Oh, the other stream died. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully people find us. There we go. We're going up now. 102.
Oh, wait. Let's see how loud you are. Yeah. What do you guys think of a game show idea?
Instant. The other stream is gone. Good. Well, I think they like it. They're going to enjoy playing the games with us. It'll be fun. But anyways, yeah, hit that like button, get those likes back up. Let's get this back on the road.
V'ger! Let's talk about V'ger.
Yeah. Sorry, we had a PC crash, so. All right. Anyway, I was just saying, Voyager 6 disappeared through a wormhole and got repaired by an all-machine planet on the far side of the galaxy, or wherever, another galaxy, whatever. Don't remember. Anyway, they fixed it, and these were extremely advanced, all machines, and they did the best they could with the programming and sent it on its way to find its creator, which eventually, when it hit Earth, they realized that the creator was a carbon-based unit, and V'ger's perfect, or should be perfect, because it's a machine, but how can, and it's the whole typical Kirk, frying a computer by saying, but I'm not perfect. So if I made you, how can you be perfect? One of those things. So destroy all carbon-based units kind of deal. Anyway, and then we saw the birth, essentially, of the first synth organic, or asynth organic, in the form of Decker and Ilia, when they merged together. Because Ilia was essentially just a probe, and Decker was, of course, a human. So they merged together, and Spock even said, I think we've witnessed a birth. And so with all this stuff combined, the fact that there's a super advanced synthetic race that's coming to destroy whatever, imperfection, essentially, with the carbon-based units, all organics, it kind of has the same vibe. And I know that the motion picture was called Where Nomad Had Gone Before, because they did this in The Changeling with Nomad. It's the same story.
Well, When Nomad Had Gone Before, slowly.
Yeah, exactly. Only slower, yeah.
Yeah, slower. That's better.
With more money spent and better graphics. Anyway.
Maybe too many graphics.
That's kind of the gist of it. And they've done a lot of very obscure references, such as The Adventures of Flaughter Lunchpail in Picard. And every episode's got a little something, even like mentioning Quark and his dealings with the Breen, and then having Quark's bar. It's a lot of cool stuff like that. And I think that linking this and having that machine race be the one that's coming would be fantastic. And it would make sense that a race that advanced, that old perhaps, could have moved those suns as well. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to get at here.
Now, so we know that the Discovery and Picard writers aren't against changing important things to suit their own whim. Spock's sister, blah, blah, blah. Is it, because we're not just linking them directly, we're saying that we will see the V'ger people, or at least the V'ger people next week, as the tendrils from the sky. Like, it goes beyond just the conceptual. Now, is that okay? Are we okay with them being then the villains? Because if, that's a complete contextual shift, while that might have been some impetus for that, it's going from one thing to they are now the villains of Star Trek Picard Season 1.
Well, Theo Missis says it there. I never saw the machine planet as a threat. I thought that V'ger misunderstood its programming, and it absolutely did. But it was... They misunderstood its programming, plus it was damaged, so they didn't have all the information. Gather information, learn all that is learnable, whatever. And it could be that their views on things have changed. I don't know. Hold on, I got super chats.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Ryan Howe, $5.
Thank you.
In an interview, Roddenberry did entertain the idea of a direct link between the Borg and V'ger. Maybe there is more links with other past events. Yeah, but I don't want there to be a link between Voyager and the Borg. I think that's kind of dumb.
I mean, maybe in as much as there'd be a side story where another one of V'ger's failed creations fought the Borg at one point and almost destroyed a part of the Borg system, and then they got over it. Like a small story like that, I'd be fine with, you know. But no, nothing to do with the direct creation. And I actually got screen caps, as you know, Stuart, of the Borg creation myth thing, blah blah blah. So we will discuss that in depth in a few minutes, as it's part of this narrative that could be unfolding. Could.
Well, the next super chat is from Eugene. He throws in 1,000 rubles. Thank you very much.
Yes. Good. Thank you.
Too smart to be true, he says. And yeah, that's kind of the vibe we get. We come up with these really great ideas which would work really well, and they just never pan out because we actually put thought into these things. So.
Well, also, we have unlimited use to fictional canon, whereas they have legal stuff, they have budgetary stuff, they have their own intention, they want to do their own political stuff. You know, they're thinking on different lines and just let's make a good Star Trek show. That's why kind of fan films are more almost the purest form, because you can just make the Star Trek show that you want to make. But yeah, the amount of times we've said cool things that haven't panned out is more often than not.
And Keith Jeffrey, 1974, puts in £2. What if it's V'ger that stops the synths? Well, V'ger's already destroyed, so...
And there's a big leap of time anyway, distance. But I think it still means the planet of people, but... Yeah. Yeah,
and I never got, and you're right, guys. Some people were saying in the chat that they never got the sense that the machine planet was evil, but when I heard machine planet, I always assumed that it was old enough that it realized it didn't understand that it was originally created by somebody else. You know, it's like machines building machines for centuries kind of thing. So it could be that they've lost their history as far as being built by organics.
But I think you're missing. Well, everyone's missing the point. Evil is in the eye of the beholder, right? What Sutra wants to do is make the signal that will bring these people from out of the known space. I won't say just the generic out of known space. To save her people by killing literally everyone else. She's not doing an evil thing in her perspective, and so from the very synth to synth contact, she's beaming the signal to the people to come be the saviors of the synths. So these people aren't doing bad things; they're saving a race of people.
Sure, or I've got another solution as well.
Sure.
When Decker and Ilia became a new entity.
Bow chicka. Wow.
Yep. Exactly.
Sorry, Vow Chastity was on record, so it doesn't count.
Well, not the probes, though. Just anyway. It could be that because Voyager almost destroyed Earth, almost destroyed a whole planet of organic beings, this new being that is Decker and Ilia want to ensure that something like that doesn't happen again. So they create... I mean, they're essentially a new life form now, right? So we've gone beyond the machine planet that repaired Voyager 6 to this new being. Could be that it, in fact, sees the issues that could come up, the misunderstandings, tries to create a warning for that goes back in time, whatever. I mean, it's possible because they turned into pure energy or whatever, and created this warning that things can get out of control. And it gets misinterpreted. That's so much better in my head before I started talking. But I think you know what I mean. Like the Decker and V'ger, or Ilia, eventually just became a new entity, and it's possible that they could go back in time. I don't know.
Well, I actually found it quite interesting that you just said that, because I until this moment, decades after watching the film, I never really clocked that. Yes, of course, the Machine Planet people like, if you watch on a very base viewing, you assume they're evolving into sort of like as advanced as the machine people, but no, they're going beyond that. So, do the machine people? I mean, it all feels like a bit of a not coincidence, just unique situation. You know, V'ger was repaired. It was able to have its bigger ship, but it evolved over its long travel. I guess through, whatever. It learned, it developed, it created a unique entity which was different to the machine people, and then it evolved once again. Now, do you think the machine people have ever met an organic that they would also want to evolve, or did V'ger change so radically in between that in fact you can't call it representative of that species, but at least goal wise, because it is in itself an evolved entity? A child maybe, but evolved completely different.
Well, I think it is different for sure. And I think the machine planet that found Voyager 6 might not even be aware necessarily that there are organics in the universe, if they are like in a distant part of the galaxy. And so they find this probe, they think it's a life form, they try to heal it, essentially, send it on its merry way, not even taking into account the fact that, it was made by an organic.
Well, I mean, let's assume they are the same race for a second. A machine comes to you, you try to help it. There isn't enough information in the, very basic circuitry that would elaborate that they're organic beings that created it. There's just a baseline of instruction code, go to the creator. Well, they have creators as well. And so they don't know it's created by organics. Vis-a-vis things happen, but their purpose is, that they want to help these machines like they helped V'ger, so I don't see a contradiction there. And it's also been a long time. If V'ger could evolve so drastically by travelling just in those hundreds of years, then it's been another couple of hundred plus those 100. So the machine planet might have changed quite radically. But again, it's not that they're just trying to save a group of people. They're so beyond us that they don't see it as anything beyond, sculpting the ants as, someone's being eaten by ants. It's like, well, yeah, but you kill the ants, and I'm not agreeing with them. We're just saying their perspective.
And your
perspective, the Jedi evil. That line.
Oh, good God. Yeah. You got to think, too, that Voyager 6 could have, in fact, gone back in time because we were dealing with a wormhole anomaly.
Yes, exactly.
Voyager was not moving fast. For it to get back to Earth, it slowly limped through Klingon space, took out some Klingons on its way to the... So, I mean, it's not moving fast. So it could be that it went back in time via the wormhole and has been traveling for a long time. Scotch says, why would V'ger not have helped or hindered the Borg for all these years then? Because it doesn't care. It hasn't run into the Borg, distant part of the galaxy or another galaxy.
I mean, just didn't bump into them. There's I mean, not everyone bumps into everyone.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Equinox never bumped into the Borg once. Well, they went through the exact same bit of space. It just didn't happen to,
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not ruling out the possibility that Voyager 6 went through a wormhole that went through time to the distant past as well, and that when Decker and Ilia became one entity, that they actually have the ability to start a new... Because Spock said it's like a birth. We've witnessed the birth of something new here. So who knows what they're capable of, whether it be time travel or whatever. I get the feeling that this warning that was left, though, was definitely perhaps misinterpreted by all parties so far, and that something could have been lost over time as far as the message or the signal goes.
Well, I mean, but Stuart, you've seen the hole in space. It's coloured red and therefore evil.
Oh, yes. But it's also, there's a green thing coming through it.
There's a green thing coming through it. I haven't got that still then.
Green energy wave that looks like the US.
Oh. That's true. That's different stills, but yeah. And there is also, just for reference, there's also a blue sky beam and a red sky beam. So I'm assuming the blue sky beam is at the end, which seals the hole because, very distinctly different sky beams. But yes, we have sky beams, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing Transformers level quality here. And yes, Avengers 1, same sky beam. Not great.
And Suicide Squad, and Ghostbusters, and There's sky beams in everything.
It's a cliche beyond cliche. Yes, no. No, yeah, I've always liked the idea that the, I mean, especially if you take '09 as being, cause I just reread the Wikipedia and they say going through what we used to call black hole. Well, what if time, like a red matter created thing, yeah, it travelled for a million years, whatever, and then these robot creatures evolved. It's tricky because we were given the basicest of exposition, but
medallion, red and blue lightsaber colors. I knew it.
But there's so much potential, and I like what we said about it being perspective, because I think that Sutra, I'd love to see what if Soji actually took the same message, what she would see in it. If maybe to the Romulans it's a warning, and it makes them crazy. If they can those that can understand the data enough to understand it's a warning, which they say it isn't, the other one takes it as a promise that we will come and kill everyone and save you if you ask. Well, that's very different. And what if Soji reads it, listens to it, and to her it's a promise of security with "we'll take you with us," but because I mean, who's to say that Sutra isn't lying? That it's an open invitation to go with them, but she's like, well, yeah, but if I ask them to come help destroy everyone, then they will. Because you can imagine her revenginess. You're already sensing that she wants to just kill and maim and revenge. So what if that, it's the perspective thing?
Could be. And I mean, it's probably going to tie into our conversation tomorrow about lore as well. Like, it could be her perceptions based on, her being partly lore. Jarzia, though, $2, and says, oh, look, Chitauri Leviathans from Avenger.
Doob, they're coming. Thanos is attacking.
Too much like lore calling the crystalline entity. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that'd be a hell of a reveal if these ancient AI, if these ancient synths are actually so evolved they're now big ass crystal things. That would be a twist.
That would be good. That'd be good.
And
I'd be down for that.
And that one that was there happened to be like a baby.
And
it killed an entire planet because it was hungry. There you go.
Wow. Zeraxis puts in $5. V'ger seem to be a relatively passive entity and too powerful to be threatened, so I don't see it directly being aggressive. Could be a sub-faction. Well, we're not specifically talking about V'ger, though, but the race that repaired Voyager 6 to become V'ger. I forget exactly what the line is, but the wormhole, but it traveled to like the other side of the galaxy or something. Yeah. It's quite a distance.
Or into a different galaxy. I mean, there's the speculation that it got to the Delta Quadrant and, the Borg stuff. So there's that theory. But definitely time travel was involved. Definitely went back. Because, I mean, V'ger wasn't traveling at warp. It was sub-light, although it was the size of a solar system, and therefore, wouldn't it be fun to do a CGI version of the cloud, and you see it in scale, like as it goes through a solar system, the cloud envelops 9 planets, and there are inhabitants on them, and they're like, we lived through a 2-week blue haze of lightning. Wow, coronavirus. You thought that was bad? We can't see out our windows or space windows.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, is it a good thing? And this is the basic question: is it a good thing if these creatures are the same as V'ger's, enhancers, saviors, to make them villains, or at least the antagonists? Again, villain is so perspectivized. Is it right for the team to just reinvent the canon that way, or is it exciting? So exciting it's worth it.
If it's done well, like we've always said this, if it's done well, it's fine. It adds to the canon, it adds to the universe. But when it's done poorly or mismanaged, then it can ruin it, right? So
I mean, I do like science.
We all do. Obviously, that's only logical. Um, Scotchy Scotch puts in $5.
Thank you.
V'ger aside, if you could write the season finale, how would you tie it all together? Best case scenario.
That's a great question.
Requires a lot of thought too, because there's a lot of plot threads throughout Picard that I don't think are going to get answered.
I mean, definitely the lore theory is good. Have it be lore in the end. That would link together the lore plot hole. You'd have him be actively manipulating the synths, and that he gave his own faulty programming. He wanted more of himself. But I would say the big MacGuffin, big villain, whatever, is all a lie within a lie. As to allow for something else, that would be more interesting. Like, can you imagine? It'd be great if this big world-ending thing is something really small. Like, the whole thing was a hoax by an alien race that isn't what it meant to be, and so that would devalue the Romulans, because can you imagine the brother and sister walk up to whatever and they're told the truth that for 1,000 years their people have been committing suicide for a lie. That would completely devalue, and that would secret society, which would be good, because it would take that out of canon too. Yeah, you can tie up some good loose ends.
And we got to think too, like, the vision that Sutra got was from O, passed to Girardi, who's a human.
Yes, exactly.
Then taken out of Girardi's mind by an android. So it's a matter of different perspectives. It's like a copy of a copy of a copy. Different perspectives, different pieces of information getting through. So I really think that the overarching message that you're supposed to get from that ring is not what was passed on. First of all, I think it might have been selective information being passed on from Commodore O as well. And I think Picard had from the point of fear. So if you go in there expecting to see something like that, that's what you're going to see. Whereas if a human did it with our curiosity and our understanding and our desire to learn, you might get a totally different vision. Now, it was passed to Girardi, sure. She was an innocent scientist, but because of that, I think her perception of it could also have skewed it so that when Sutra finally got it out of her, it's a totally different message. You know what I mean? Like, it's a telephone game. I was just going to say that. Yeah, it just gets passed and passed, and even the ring itself. Every time that, let's say, the Tal Shiar, the Zat Vash go there, it passes information to each different person, and it's actually losing bits of information as a result. So it's not the entire message there at this point. I mean, that's a distinct possibility as well. So. I mean, trying to make excuses for what's
and those are great points. I mean, it felt weird to me, even the idea that this ring. And guys, please do super chat your thoughts and questions and queries. As part of why we do this is A, support the channel, and B, have you part of the conversation. It's really important to us, actually, because you guys have some great ideas. But if this ring was made as and we'll take Sutra a word, right, at least for the setup, that it's a promise, a whatever, that okay, yes, shit, oh god, OBS, shit might happen, here's the signal, great, and it's designed for synth's brain, so you know that any organic can't probably process it. The Romulans we already know they process it wrongly, incomplete, and only some can even live with the incomplete knowledge, not just the horror, the corrupt file in a sense. So what I would never have considered that when O went to Girardi, that she genuinely gave her everything, because a Vulcan brain is radically different to a human brain.
You're gonna have half Romulan, half Vulcan brain.
Yeah.
At that, so
I would never think that Girardi could accept the same information. Okay, it might be it's already been translated into like Romulan brain. It's easy to go to human brain, but I would have assumed that she would give her only a fragment, only a small sense of it. So it was weird when I saw Thingy-mabobby Sutra suddenly know the entire story. It's like, what? So she imparted the entire vision on, and it didn't make Agnes go insane? Does that mean that Agnes is stronger than those other scientists? So that felt weird to me, unless it's diluted and compressed and only part of it, and then her brain processes it, and she's already been sort of turned to not think it's as bad, to not be as given to the fear. So it's got less powerful and less strong.
She only got the information about the synths being evil and need to be destroyed from Commodore O, because that's what Commodore O believes. That those are strongly her beliefs.
Show her, yeah.
And that's exactly what Suture got as a result.
Yeah.
So it's not the complete message, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that many brains, I find it completely unrealistic that it would be able to transfer that way. So, and I love that. I love the idea that, yeah, O had all of it, only gave the important bits that she was manipulating. Because have the Romulans be the good guys now is a weird thing to do. Have their message be roughly right. You know, not in a good way, but okay, well, fine.
Well,
so
I can see them doing that, because if the Romulans are right, Starfleet comes in and, well, guess what? The Romulans were right. It could bridge that gap to help the Romulans and the Federation become allies, because...
But we already thought they were allies after Nemesis. We didn't think...
Yeah, we haven't got clarification on that. Yeah, I know.
But I just like the idea that, yeah, that the O would actively... I mean, come on. Romulans are known for a bit of deceit. Why not just show Jurati what she needs to see, but leaving out the second half of the message? The half of the message that says, you know... Or here is the transwarp information to get you to us. It's a one-way ticket, like it's a galaxy bridge, like it'll get you past the galactic barrier. It's a one-way ticket, but she didn't have to give that information over. She didn't understand it, but she didn't give it. So I can imagine that maybe that we might get a situation whereby, what's his name, like Narek or Nerissa, like mind meld with Soji and give her like a more raw version of it, and she sees that no, it isn't all doom and gloom, there's more to it, and then she kills Sutra because there's another way which doesn't involve killing everybody. And then her talk with Picard about justifying a life for a life, she's like, well, I can justify killing my sister to save literally everyone everywhere in the universe / galaxy / quadrant. But only through a raw vision, where Nerissa is, you know, choosing to get, or Narek is choosing to give the real vision, and it, like I say, includes a like this ring. You know, maybe the blue beam is a one, like a Stargate, is a one-way transportation method to their galaxy, and the red is the other reverse way. What do you think? I think you're muted.
I said that's interesting. Yeah, but I don't know. We got a few super chats that we need to hit up.
Great.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $2, 100 likes. Heck yes. The Ronin puts in $5.
Hey, welcome.
They made a big deal about the synths have to be in pairs. It's hard to ignore the potential of lore being involved, or the writers just dig twins.
Well, no, it's only there to let you kill the characters and also have the other lady back. I mean, it's just there as because you can't have your cake and eat it too unless you make them twins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But I mean, I think it's a good motivation, though, for Thingy to be a murderous B-word, you know.
Jeff Jacobs, $2.04, 104 likes. Great start. We are aiming for 250 hashtag make Jeff pay. 256 if you're here, guys. Hit that like button. Very important.
Excellent.
And Zaraxis, $5.
Thank you. Welcome.
I really hope we get some kind of twist and not just another batch of nonsensically insane machines who solve problems by killing all organics.
What, you mean the Discovery synth plot?
Yeah.
I don't hope we get that either. Wasn't great. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about the plot line there?
Maybe the artificial intelligence that's coming is actually Transformers, because it looks like Michael Bay's Transformers, those tentacles, and they're coming from Cybertron. And
I mean, yeah, Unicron, that's the villain. And that
exactly.
actually makes some sense. Ironically, that actually fits just fine.
It's an official Transformers Star Trek crossover, more so than the IDW Comics one.
Yep. But a comment by Lipolidron Has Narek even seen the vision? He was not on the planet, as I recall, so what does he even know except following his sister? Well, he's the younger brother, so he saw it like with the next year of recruits.
But only the women were there.
That year. I mean,
Wow.
just because causation is not whatever. It's like there are no black swans because you've only seen white swans. Doesn't mean there are no black swans or white swans.
She said, as we go, our foremothers came here centuries ago.
Okay.
Maybe she could pass it on just by mind meld with her brother.
She probably loves her mum more than her dad. Rather than saying 4 people. I mean,
I get the impression that Narek is part of the Tal Shiar. She's part of the Zat Vash.
Shiar. Zat Vash Shiar. I mean, they're both the same, it feels like to me, but... I mean, that could explain why he was more willing to go against mission, but that's poor as hell. I mean, that would be such a convoluted non-plot. Speaking of convoluted plots, let's talk about Legacy.
Before we do that, though, Eugene puts in 250 rubles.
Thank you.
What if the tentacles from hyperspace are the real heroes?
That would be a twist.
And what a twist.
Ooh, Ax Maki. The tentacles are the latest version of the Doomsday Machine. Now that's a new possible Doomsday Machine race. I mean, could you call that ship? Did we ever scan it enough to know if it was a synthetic life form? Okay, well, let's break down one thing. And guys, I want your opinion in the chat. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you think that this threat has been established, this out-of-universal, or at least, second-hand information-wise, will it be a race, creature, technology we've already seen? Yes or no? So if you say yes, it'll be a V'ger, or a Doomsday Machine, or a Control, or no, it'll be something brand new, invented just for this. What do you guys think? Gut reaction? Because they have done a lot of small canon. They really have. So it's very possible they'll all link it together. Yes or no? Go for it.
It's going to be something new. That's my thought.
Yeah.
It's going to be Control. It shouldn't be, but it will be.
I mean, again, if they were smart, if they're really smart, it could be Control. But have you seen Discovery Season 2, the end?
Yeah.
It's not smart.
I agree with Medallion. Loves that. Yeah.
Oh,
look
sorry,
what I made, Mom.
Sorry,
you should be proud of me now.
Sorry, you died.
Oh, Medallion says it will be a new creation. Kurtzman loves that shit. And I kind of agree. He's kind of one of those, look what I did, Mom. I want your validation. I want you to love me, Mom. I made something new. Look, everybody's talking about it. Now it's part of Star Trek.
Look, my Dark Universe. Look, it's amazing. Cancelled. No, but look at my Star Trek universe. Discovery Season 2. Well, the thing
look
is,
what I did to Transformers.
The thing is, though, or did the plot of Picard Season 2, like the plot of Discovery Season 1, and to some extent Discovery Season 2, was it shifted by Michael Chabon when he came in? Did he change the end point?
He touched the... You can tell the episodes he touched because they're the better episodes, and they're in the middle of the goddamn series. And this, like we said, the editing, the feel of the last episode, and the first couple episodes are the same. So that's the main story that Kurtzman did.
Yep.
Chabon came in, added his own flair, which was the better episodes in the middle, and didn't have much to do with this, if anything.
What?
That's kind of the vibe that I get.
Yeah.
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 Herbst Magus puts in $2.
Thank you.
Cap, Commander, have you heard of the ship of Theseus?
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
It rings a bell. Let me Google. Okay.
What is it?
In the metaphysics identity, the ship of Theseus is a thought experiment that raises the question whether an object that has had all its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object.
Yeah. Yep. So if you have a sailing ship and you replace the planks, and then you replace the hull, and then you replace the mass, at the end, if everything's replaced, is it still the original ship? It's interesting. I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah, please elaborate. It's an interesting point if you can help us understand how that links.
Yeah.
And just to go back to people saying yay or nay, I think we have a fundamental yay. It'll be Thanos. Thanos, yeah. Xeraxis is going to be control. It shouldn't be, but it will. Got to go with no. Yes, brand new, yes. Yes, yeah. So most people think it's going to be an old thing. Is that what I said? Was yes the if it's an old thing? I think it was. Yeah.
And Eugene says maybe ship of Theseus equals Star Trek. It sounds like the Star Trek.
Synth body of humans. Yeah, if a synthetic body has everything in the human body, but isn't. I mean, I would still consider them non-human because they're not human. I mean, it's not rocket science. They're synth organics. They're a new breed of life. It's like the Baku, right? They're not humans. They're Baku. They look like humans, but they're not. They're Baku. They're slightly different. Doesn't take much. Give them the credit of a different classification.
Yeah. Tom Casey, $2. If it's control, I'll just die.
And the problem with control is that is it control in the sense of is this a let's do the thought experiment, Stuart. And yes, you can say your classic, oh good God.
Do I say that a lot?
You do. I like when you say, oh good God. So if it's control, is it a prequel or sequel to Discovery? Do you know what I mean by that?
No. Explain.
Okay, if this is a prequel to Discovery, then we're in the universe, the timeline, where control exists, kills all life in the universe, Michael Byrne's mum is the only person left in the universe, and control wins. Kills everything. Or is it in the Discovery sequel timeline, where control ends up going back in time, is defeated, never becomes control, and the universe doesn't get destroyed? Yeah.
The first thing you said.
Okay. Which would then make Discovery Season 2 the sequel to Picard Season 1, which means if this was just control, if this was just control from the future, then why should we feel any sort of threat? Because we know they got defeated in Discovery Season 2, which was released a year ago. Because if this was control from the future, I mean, look at the tendrils. They look like the squid arms from the probe that was converted. I mean, red was the color of control, from what I recall. Yep. Is that interesting? You know,
it's interesting if you created Discovery and you wanted to tie. It's interesting if you created Discovery and you wanted to tie together. Yeah, it's great. Look, our thing that came way back here and this thing that we're doing now, they all tie together.
Well, it's like it's somewhat spoilers for Flash, Legends, and Arrow. Is everyone okay with spoilers from Flash, Legends, and Tomorrow with Damien Dark? Is everyone okay with that? Yay or nay in the audience, quickly. Go. And also, we turn on anti-lag, so we should be a bit more real-time today. On a couple of sentences of should I spoil it or not? Go ahead, yes, yeah, yay.
There's still quite a bit of lag.
Okay, great. Everyone's saying yes. Okay, so in that multiverse, that universe of stories, the villain of Damien Dark was killed in a season, killed dead. But then we saw an earlier version of him in a different TV show because they have time travel. And so the villain of a different show was an earlier version of Damien Dark, even though you knew he was going to die in the future. So he's less threatening because, you know what I mean? Because you already know his fate.
Yeah.
So if Control was the villain, you know Control will be defeated. So where's the tension and...
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Well, also means this universe is pointless because if Control got defeated in Discovery, then this universe couldn't happen, which means you undo Picard's events instantly because Control could never have come back from the future that stopped being existing. So this is definitely the original Discovery timeline. I'm sure it gets changed. So what's the point? So it can't be Control.
That's right, because it's V'ger. Or not directly V'ger. It's the race that created V'ger. Okay. Now I have a headache. That's what happened. I was going to say something too. I can't remember what the hell it was. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, we were going to talk about. Speaking of Convoluted.
Yes. What Sam said and something else.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Star Trek Legacy.
This is the best like transition we've ever done.
Fleet Pass Swiftback $2 because Quantum. That's the perfect reason.
Yes. Now, have you guys seen or played Star Trek Legacy?
I have both seen it and played it.
I've played it, but I haven't seen it. Yeah. And I have a love-hate relationship with Star Trek Legacy. Why are you laughing?
Yeah. No, I think we all kind of do.
Oh, how so? How do you?
Well, that's the only reason that I got an Xbox 360 for that game, because it wasn't available on the PlayStation. I never wanted an Xbox. Got the game, and it was rather... Actually, I don't mind it. It's kind of fun to play. I also got it for the PC and never actually installed it. So I never got all the downloadable stuff. So I spent money on it and then never really... Yeah. That being said, I did like the storyline, which is probably one of the reasons that you don't like it.
So I'm trying to get the trailer. I haven't seen the trailer in like 15 years. I don't think they can copyright strike a trailer for a game that came out a billion years ago. So I'd like to play it because it's interesting. Well, probably is interesting. Like I haven't watched it in God knows how long. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not.
You are though. Oh, that is not what I want to try. Okay.
And the thing I like about it is it includes all the eras, right?
Yes.
All the different eras, essentially. They had one for the PlayStation. It was called Star Trek Encounters.
Mm-hmm.
But it was such a different game.
Alright, I'm playing the trailer now. Is there going to be sound? I don't know.
Yes, there's sound. Yeah, we can't.
I can't hear a dance sausage though.
Star Trek Legacy.
I can hear it.
Experience 5 generations of the final frontier like never before. Star Trek Legacy for Xbox 360 and PC. And also coming this fall, Star Trek Tactical Assault for Nintendo DS and Sony PSP.
Tactical Assault. There we go.
I don't know how you're hearing that and I wasn't hearing it. I don't even know how that was
It was just music and said 5 generations come together.
This one I remember being really excited about because all the eras, the graphics looked amazing for the time, like really the best, and some still hold up, and it was Avery Brooks' last appearance as Cisco ever. Actually, probably Backus as well, but like especially Cisco. And Kirk, Shatner was in it. He never did video game. But at a certain point, he never did them. So it was nice to have him. Well, they sound like old man Shatner. He did try. But the game is really hard. So I played it on PC, and it's really hard, and it's a big learning curve because the missions are very long and a bit boring, and the combat is very poor to control, very very poor to control with a keyboard and mouse. And so I couldn't even get past a certain point, and the ships get more fun as you get a lot higher eras. So I played a mod whereby you get a Galaxy class ship at the start. So you start the NX era with a Galaxy class, and so basically everyone is a little bitch that you can slap until TNG. So that was the best way of playing it. I was able to go through the entire campaign. But the story is of this Vulcan lady who basically becomes a Borg queen and tries to take her own Borg empire. It's very interesting, actually, and that's the entire point of the game. And links to V'ger and all this great stuff. Now, what do you remember from the Borg origin stuff from that, then, if you want to go into what you remember?
I just know there was a Romulan lady who... Well, it's a Vulcan lady that's actually a Romulan lady that...
Was she actually Romulan? I thought she was actually Vulcan.
No, I think she was actually Romulan. I'm trying to remember how it ties in with the Borg, though. I don't remember the time travel element.
Well, it wasn't time travel, but...
My mind.
Well, that's why. 'Cause I'm trying to figure out how this worked, but I can't remember.
I don't think they can copyright this bit either, so I'll play the audio of this bit. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
So I can hear it now.
Your mind. My thoughts to your thoughts. Yes, her memory patterns within the collective were well hidden. I know what you know. Its name was V'ger. A probe, human in origin. It fell into a black hole where space and even time are bent. Through whatever providence, this machine survived. Living machines found the probe, found it, and altered it, its programming a mystery to them. They interpreted it as best they could, returned to the Creator. But it could find nothing, no others like it, and none that could have created it. In that moment, the probe decided all carbon-based life was an infestation of the Creator's universe. Assimilation. That was their only useful purpose, as tools for it to learn and grow. It cataloged all carbon-based life and their technology. It created drones in their image and merged them into a collective consciousness. This is where the Borg began, sent out as heralds to find its creator, and to learn all that is learnable and return that information to V'ger for assimilation. As the collective grew, the necessity for a single voice became the only logical recourse. The collective found the females of certain species displayed a mental prowess, enabling them to sift through thousands of thoughts and bring order to chaos. Installing these females as the collective's processors of information, they became much more efficient. With thoughts and desires of her own, she was no longer bound to serve V'ger, but the destruction of the Queen put a limit on the life of the collective. With its size and power unregulated, it would become chaos. Now, Vulcan patience will prevail. At the proper time, I can seize control of the collective and turn them into an instrument of logic and order. When they are at their weakest, I will take the place of the Queen. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah.
So Medallion says it was a non-canon video game, so whatever. Yeah, well, we know it's non-canon, but...
Look pretty.
Yeah.
Well, it was just really interesting at the time. I do think there's a slight leap when she sent over to him. There was V'ger, and then it created drones. It's like...
I know.
That was a leap. But it's only like a couple-minute piece. But
It wasn't a leap, that was a swan dive.
Mm-hmm. But the simple premise that the Borg want more information to lead to perfection, is certainly a V'ger thing. So that's interesting, although that was just the context of all that jazz. I'm not saying these synths link to the Borg, but if in this grand scheme, the synth planet that maybe is coming to attack them helped give V'ger its tech, which then could also create the Borg. Then obviously it's got this level of tech that's just so beyond, you know.
Yeah. Tower Comics says, "What the fuck is V'ger?" I'd suggest watching the motion picture, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Man of Sand, V'ger had lots of power. It devoured entire planets, didn't it? No, it scanned planets, and the same thing it did with the Klingon ships. It like digitized them, and then stored them in perfect detail.
Now, obviously, that was canon. They show the planets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was not destructive in the same way as other things, but I just like this thing that gives you more information as to how and why. But I mean, the power of V'ger. I mean, from the original movie, what was your sense of its pure power level, of what it could or could not maybe do?
I was never sure. Like I said, I watched these when I was really young, so I was really confused about V'ger for a long time. And then we get the director's cut or whatever that has an actual physical representation of what the ship looks like.
Yep.
And that made no sense to me because it seemed way smaller than it was supposed to. I always got the sense it was like this undefinable cloud. I mean, yeah, you kind of see the shape when the ships are going towards it, but I figured that was just part of the edge, like the cloud, whatever. Then we get that ship that you have up there, and I've never really accepted that as V'ger, to be honest. V'ger to me is something completely different. It's kind of undefinable. It's huge. So, yeah, I was never sure what it did specifically. I just know it attacked things, digitized them, and basically stored the information. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of this ship craft middle. And I think Director's Cut improves on that. Because the cloud is what you visualize as V'ger. It's the cloud, it's a vroom, vroom, all those musical cues. Well, that's just the outer field, shield, protection grid. That's its influence that it's projecting, But there's a ship, there's a fundamental housing which is absurdly big, but it's creating this outer field, which is even more absurd. Also, go by the original movie, several solar systems wide and then shrinks down. Absurdly many AUs. But what I like about this ship in particular is if you go to the original concept art, I mean, this is how they built it. I mean, it was meant to be this ship. There's no two ways about it. And then when they did the 3D model for Director's Cut, they, if you look at each segment of the ship flying under the ship, there's a lot of pieces to the ship, and you can see a lot of its shape. It's actually very. They had the concept art too, so they did include these elements. And so I love the fact that when you look at the miniature or 3D model, you can actually track the journey of everything because it's all there. It does change the vibe drastically of the movie, but also it's a lot more logical because they're just moving along the shell of the ship. And it just happens to be several miles long, oh my goodness, with lots of energy things and weird things. And I think we wondered once, there's a bit where they go inside and they show us like a field of circuitry, and you wonder, is that the equivalent of like a city of bio things? I mean, do you really think that V'ger itself, the living machine as it is, the baby, that it really is just harnessed with a single entity of this little probe? I mean, was the entire ship, all its services now the single probe? There's 1 million times the size, 1 billion times the size. There's nothing else going on. Surely there's more inside this ship than just this one room.
Yeah. So you say that the Enterprise going along, it's actually on the outer hull of the ship, following the. See, I never ever got that impression. Even I always thought they were inside the ship, because it does look like they actually go into it, and it's like around them.
Well, they go into it at the end. I mean, you see them go in the orifice. That's the inn.
Yeah, but I always assumed they were in it the whole time.
So you're doing it twice.
Well, yeah, the inner part and the outer entrance and then the inner part. I always assumed they were inside something the whole time. I never got the feeling that they were going over the surface of something.
Well, they were.
Oh, well, there you go.
Sorry. Well, they're in the cloud. I mean, that's the thing about having this two-layered approach, which is why I find these visuals of it of as it goes by is so beautiful, because it's like that's just the hull. All these amazing shapes. It's really interesting and artistry and fancy and cloud and God, it's just so much,
Yeah. See, it's that tactical scan at the beginning that's what I thought it looked like.
Tactical. I mean the big ball thing.
Yeah. Like the cloud shape, just an undefinable shape.
Mm. Well, that's where it goes from being a machine to a space creature, But it isn't. It is a, it actually is weird that it does just boil down to just a simple machine. It's a machine creature, a machine society, la la la.
We bought Swiftback, $2, 150. I would love to see 275. Hashtag Trekyards Lake Spike. 283 of you here.
It's good.
Guys, let us know your opinions, and by all means, hit the like button.
And Justin says, why would it have to be so big?
Because,
well, they have planets inside it, digitized planets, and they say that it's been scanning and learning. So I could see it like building more of itself to increase its amount of processing power, to increase the amount of stuff it can store, which then increases its intelligence, which increases its scope. It's been traveling for potentially hundreds of years. So, or was it given this ship? Is this just a Class 3 frigate, as built by the robot creatures, and then they stuck the probe in it and said, right, have a good ride. It'll go at warp 0. Enjoy the 10,000 years of slow travel. The video was like, thank you guys, thank you.
Yeah, well, I always got a different sense of it. I think it's because I watched it since I was a kid. I just didn't understand it, and it's just always kind of stuck with me. Eugene, 250 rubles. The ship is CPU. The cloud is the CPU fan. That's interesting.
Well, okay, it wouldn't need to be that big, but if you assume that the power level of this ship is sort of average, because why would this robot planet give the V'ger probe the bestest tech ever, although I'm sure it evolved into it, then is not the abilities of this ship a sense of what enemies the robots were facing? If those baddie ships could actually travel through the cloud and survive, la la la.
Well, that's the other thing that I was misunderstood about, I guess, because I always assumed they fixed Voyager 6, sent it on its way, and as it found more things, it added to itself and built this thing around it.
Yeah.
So I never got the sense that it was souped up to this size by the machine planet.
Oh, no, I would assume that too. It's more interesting that way for sure. It's so ambiguous. Because, why would you give it this bigger ship? But that's the implication that it's been travelling for hundreds of years or thousands of years. Because I like the idea that, it was sent back in time, and it took, 10,000 years to get to them, and as it went, it had a small little structure. But then how did it build that? Why did it build that? Again, the technology level was incredible. Was it given it can disintegrate a ship, a planet beam gun thing right at the start? Or did it acquire that technology? Or is it even considered a weapon? I would
assume they gave it that when they fixed it, because its mission, its programming was to learn all that was learnable.
Yeah.
So give it the tools needed to anything it encounters either replicate or incorporate into itself.
So do you think then its scale? I mean, it might not even have the fog at the start. Maybe if all it had was a small craft and the ball of sucking things into it, And I think we have to clarify one more time, Jerks. It is kind of confusing what the weapon, because it looks like a torpedo. It's presented as a torpedo. Just re-clarify what it actually is.
What it actually is?
What's happening to the birds? What's happening to the Katingas? It looks as if they're just being disintegrated, dematerialized. Just re-clarify for the audience, because they might be shouting, "But it destroyed them!"
It didn't, though, because if you watch closely, you can actually see it's digitizing them. It's basically hitting them with a pulse of energy, and it's digitizing the substructure, the structure of the ship all the way down, and then it's converted into energy, and then it's stored within the cloud itself, or the ship. And in the original storyboards for the movie, there was a scene at the end where after V'ger gets destroyed, these Klingon ships that had just basically assimilated or digitized actually get reconstructed and attack the Enterprise. And then the Enterprise has to do a saucer separation. The secondary hull gets destroyed. So that was all storyboarded. That was part of the plot. And then they cut it for time and all that stuff. So they weren't destroyed. They were just converted into a different form so it could be stored for Voyager. For V'ger, sorry.
So that one society's weapon is another society's Control-Alt-Save.
Yeah, pretty much.
But again, that level tech is so impressive. But if you can imagine that as it's carbon demolecularizing it, almost like just a reverse transporter, really.
It's turning it into energy and just not reconstituting it into matter.
Yeah. So if it's designed to learn things, I mean, literally having the entire thing scanned into the brain of V'ger, I mean, that's going to learn a lot. Because surely the entire computer banks would be downloaded as well. So I could imagine that it was a much smaller ship, and as it was it was only given the ability to demolecularize and learn. I mean, can you imagine once it starts demolecularizing enough planets randomly, it'll learn technology that is so unbelievably cool that it becomes this massive thing. That this powerhouse of technology that only because of its ability to learn.
Michael Kirst says digitizing a living thing would be quite useful for someone working on a mind transfer like soon. There you go. Yeah, it's basically downloading the Katinga, yeah. It's more like a cut option, not a copy and paste. It's more like a cut. Cut and paste.
And guys, please do super chat. We haven't had many today, and I think this has been a great discussion, but we do need more support. Because we're almost sort of 3/4 way through, and a lot of you watching, but yeah, put in 5. That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know how much else I have to talk about with this, but it would be nice to see some kind of tie-in with something that we know, as long as it's done well. That being said, I think we're going to get something brand new, unfortunately.
It just really strikes me as bizarre as anything that this season lost me as soon as they mentioned great destroying AI from another part of the time or galaxy. It's like, we just watched that with Star Trek Discovery, and you dropped the ball massively at the end. Why would you have two? Because, I mean, come on. What is the difference between a sentient, living, synthetic AI creation and a sentient, living AI which can create bio bodies made of metal that look like human? Sorry, what's the difference? Really? When you break it down? I mean, they're both, I would call them both synths. Both AIs. One just happens to use organic, one happens to use biomechanoids. They both look, I mean, whereas then he can take over the people's bodies. I mean, they're so unbelievably similar. Why would you pen both stories? That absolutely confused the hell out of me. So it needs to either be very different from Control, or it's Control.
Well, given those two options, I know what they're going to go with.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, too, we think it's going to tie into Discovery Season 3 with the future. This thing basically being successful in its mission and destroying, at least, not all, but at least the majority of organic life. And that's perhaps what they run into in Season 3 of Discovery.
I mean,
900 years in the future.
this is one of those weird things. This is why I really do hope that there's the corruption of the message, because I just don't buy that these organic synth AI future people, well, just like if they're in another galaxy, right, and they're teleporting to us, and they're watching to wipe out every planet in the galaxy that has life on it. They can destroy entire galaxies with, like, and there's lots of galaxies, but they're just gonna kill an entire galaxy's worth of life, like 100 people. Like, that's too far fetched for me. You know, I mean, all you have to do is just destroy the Romulan fleet as it attacks. That's all they'd have to do. Why would you then go and destroy everything? I mean, even if you've got a missile for every planet, that's trillions of planets. I don't understand the motivation there. I don't understand why they would go excessive. It just doesn't. I mean, Control, at least, like, Control killed. That was a little bit different, and it was more over a long period of time. This is just like, oh, we're just gonna come in and kill everyone, boom, done. Because Control can turn against you. It's like, you know, it basically brought people down to the Dark Ages and then subsequently wiped everyone out. This is just like, oh, cool, we're that powerful. It just seems so lazy. Yeah?
It does. It does, absolutely. Eugene, 250 rubles. Why hyperspace is red while the skybeam is blue? Different thing, maybe? Oh gosh, please don't add green. Well,
I think the blue is to stop it and the red is to start it. I think that's the because that's the real question, Stuart. Will it be a cliffhanger ending, or will it actually be able to stop? Okay.
They don't have enough time to wrap this up satisfactorily, so it's going to be a cliffhanger. Let's see. Demas Alves puts in $10. Thank you. He says, just coming in, we'll rewind and watch from the beginning. Love you guys. Keep up the great work.
Love you too.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks so much.
Jersey at $5. More support for you. I've had to cut back on super chats a bit. V'ger digitized my bank account. Well, if it's digitized, it's already in like a form that you can get it to us on the internet. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, you do enough. Thank you. And Herbus Max, dude, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you anyway.
Dude,
appreciate it. Sorry.
Pader Ruan, €2.
See, he's good at that. I'm just not good at that.
I'm not very good at it. Too much of a news story to be crammed into 10 episodes.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
And it's like they forgot they had a plot until the last act.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird.
Exactly. They needed to fit Michael Chabon's good stuff in the middle there.
It's like the more you process the reveal, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Unless this last one is like an hour and a half and it's like a big... Oh, you know what it's going to be, Stuart? It's going to be like 36 minutes. It's the shortest episode of the season.
No. It's going to be an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, I fucking hope so.
Won't be, but... Mark Lawrence throws in $5. Thank you very much, Mark. As much as I don't like these possibilities, with Kurtzman in charge, he'll likely get something worse. Wow. The plot holes will outnumber the space tentacles.
Yeah, maybe. And John Bonder and someone also mentioned that they think that the AI could be from a different dimension. Or a parallel universe, as there are multiple.
It's from the Prime universe.
No, dimension. Like the guys that stole Riker, the aliens, that dimension. Which I'm not against. I mean, it's you know...
Another subspace realm.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at... I mean, well, no. I don't know.
Fluidic space.
Well, yeah. Or anti-fluidic space. They're yeah, that'd be kind of funny. Fluidic space has all organic creatures. Anti-fluidic space has all metal creatures. And they've been in a war for millions of years. Although, as the Mass Effect fans out there could see, those tentacles are so much like the Reapers. It's like, really? You went for tentacles? Mm-hmm. Crazy!
Zeraxis, $2.
Thank you.
More coins for the Trekyards crew. Thank you.
I appreciate the sudden surge at the end here. It does make it also a bit more awesome, so thank you.
Samuel Ray, $2. Whole season would make a decent 2-part TNG episode. Yep. You could definitely fit this whole thing into a two-parter. I think, yeah.
I'd love to rewrite it. Because at this point, though, with the big reveal, I can't like re-edit it anymore. It has to be a full rewrite. I just don't, Stuart. I don't know about you, but I don't like end of the universe plots in Star Trek.
Nah. Sylvia G, what's for dinner? I don't know what we're having for dinner yet. She put that in the chat. Zeraxis puts in $5. Thank you. You know, the one bright side of Picard Season 1 ending is that you two finally get back to ship commissions and other such things, and more pineapple, of course. What?
I think he means anti-Trekker. He's very anti-pineapple, and we like pineapple, so...
Oh. Gotcha.
That's funny. Yeah, and I'm excited to get back to ships and stuff. It'd be nice.
And TNG reviews. We got to finish what we're in Season 2.
I mean, we know for a fact our income's going to drop drastically, which is sad.
Oh, it's gonna bottom out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we might get to the point where we'll be like, guys, we need to sell some prints, otherwise we can't make ends meet each month. And that's just everyone's suffering. But it's like, you know, that's why the Picard stuff, use the Picard stuff while you can, because you guys did stop watching the ship reviews as much, and YouTube stopped paying us as much. So it kind of was a double whammy of boo. But we've got some cool stuff. But yeah, right. This has been you know, life's blood saving for us. It's been good.
Yeah. And Eugene, 150 rules. Are you saying they're from the Dark Universe? Yes, maybe. Kurtzman's Dark Universe.
Maybe.
Ensign Ricky, $2.
Thank you.
This is where 8472 comes in and wipes the machines. Dun dun dun.
I mean, to be fair though, could you imagine? Right, let me pitch this to you. We'll see what you think, as I often do. You get the Romulan fleet. You get the Starfleet fleet that comes in. You get the synth, organic flowers. Wow, that sounds great to say out loud. And these people come in and they're like, you know, pew, destroying everyone. And then suddenly Seven sends out this signal, different signal, maybe even the red signal, but different signal. And 8472 ships just come out of this hole because Seven called 8472 because they're like, well, we don't want the Borg to take over. We sure as hell don't want these synth guys to take over. And I mean, she would. I wouldn't even be surprised if she and Voyager kept contact with them. And you know, they've got Borg cubes, they've got power under their belt, and I mean that would certainly be a hell of a reveal. It's like, we have allies too, blah, blah, blah. And then the spaceships come out and we see them in beautiful high HD, and then we zoom into a CGI cockpit and there's an 8472 who looks exactly the same, who's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, destroy them, and then this big Death Star style laser comes in, and that'd be great.
On that note, FleetPass Swiftback gave us $10 PayPal, so thank you. It says it's FleetPass Swiftback. I think it would be great if V'ger was tied into Picard, if done right. If it's handled improperly, it would only be seen as poorly done fan service, which would do nothing but anger the fans further. If it is done well, it will solidify Picard as a good Star Trek show. And I gotta agree with those two things.
Because the thing about introducing something like this is Control is so forgettable. Just
what is?
The Control, the AI from Discovery?
Control.
Remember? It was in a few episodes of the very expensive TV show Star Trek Discovery.
I'm controlling my computer. Is that what you're talking about? Like, being able to control things?
Close, yeah.
Oh.
Very forgettable. And this base is very forgettable. But if you link it into the universe, then yeah, it could be really interesting. I would just... But I wouldn't want them to turn the V'ger original people into villains, just... Because maybe they're so advanced and so out, like you said, there have been so many eons since they were ever organics as a baseline. They don't really even understand organic life in the same way. And so their message is, you know, the message is, come with us, join us in our realm. But the Romulans added the distinction of, and they'll kill us back. You know, they see a warship the size of a moon, and they see destruction of their own empire, but really it was just there as a... I mean, there's a safe haven where we are. We don't care about the organics. Why should we? They mean nothing to us. Because wouldn't that be a nice reveal? This big, epic, battle-y scene, and it comes down to a nice, gentle Well, no, we're not here to kill anybody. What? Of course we're not. I think they could become a nice little reveal. What do you guys think?
If it's his side again. Oh, you're back. I thought your computer died again.
Yeah, you died for once. It's a tardigrade who'll save the day.
Look at Tower Vlogs, 2 pounds. Data comes back to save the day in B4's body.
Don't see it, but thank you.
Pidar Ruin, €2. The big hidden villains turn out to be the Binars. Oh no. Telma ML, $2. How can the writing improve for the next season? By not having Alex Kurtzman touch it.
Or
Can't stand him.
Akiva Goldsman, yeah. I mean, Chabon seems to have done some good stuff, decent stuff at least. I mean, depends how
I don't
it
have an issue with
ends.
Chabon.
No. Because the thing is, that's what we said with Discovery. Season 2, it could be great unless they drop the ball. And they drop the ball and you're like, well, the whole season was worse because of it. Because I enjoyed a lot of the middle stuff. The end's bad. Like, bad. That's alright.
Mark Lawrence.
When they actually forget they have plot points, like all the signals, and they're like, shit, we didn't account for all the signals. Quickly, we'll wave them away in dialogue, and then also forget about 2. It's like, what?
Mark Lawrence, $5. Those tentacles, all I can see is Futurama, the beast with a million backs. With a billion backs, yeah.
Ooh, Stephen Summers. I think he must win. No, those tentacles are the upgraded Red Angel suit. Dum, dum, dum. It's
Probably.
Michael Burnham. She is one. She is Borg. She's future Borg, and she will
she's gonna
save
show
everyone.
She's gonna show up and save
Yep.
them all from invading whatever there.
I'm smarter than you, 'cause I'm Michael Burnham.
Eugene, 250 rubles. 8472, or some young British version of Q punching them in open space shouting, "Are you mad, bruv?" Okay. Leon McGuinness puts in 15 pounds. That's awesome. Whatever they decide to do, I just hope they do the universe justice, because at the moment it seems they've had so many good ideas but executed them so badly. It's just sad to see.
It's weird. It's like, are they even going to address the political situation on Romulus? Are they going to address the scientists on the Borg cube? Are they going to address what the Reclamation Project was doing apart from reclaiming Borg? Because that was only one small part of it. Are they going to talk about the Tal Shiar? Are they going to talk about the Starfleet fleet? They talk about the synths around. They talk about the so many things.
It's all just forgotten. And you know it is. I'm not going to answer any of it. Ensign Ricky, $5.
Ricky!
Biggest problem with Trek right now is that every third generation Trek series has this big world-ending apocalypse scheme attached to them. Not necessary, in my opinion. No, that's where episodic comes in better. You can have like good stories that doesn't have to be this build up to this menacing thing that we have to defeat. Like a movie where they always have like a big bad villain that's trying to destroy the Earth or the galaxy. It just doesn't, just doesn't work.
Or at least it was a localized threat like Year of Hell. I mean, that guy could destroy the entire universe if he wanted to, one planet at a time, but it was localized, But I mean, guys, I think the writers of this show should just watch Babylon 5. I mean, they've stolen a few things from Babylon 5 in a sense, but just that's how you do single episode, multi-episode, season arc, franchise arc. They did it perfectly. You guys suck. There are examples of this. How do you fail at this sort of thing? But it's because they keep switching showrunners. They keep having ideas. They keep being told by the producers they're not working. They keep having to shift the ideas, which means a lot of the setup is then lost, which means the scenes then become worthless. They do reshoots to try and match some of it, but because it wasn't built that way, it doesn't quite work. It feels mishmashed. Then they double swap, and all the setups lost again, and they have bad art design people that don't want to do Trek. Because the thing is, if this looked like TNG, right, like a late TNG, like Nemesis era, we would forgive a lot of it because it would be just Star Trek. But because they also do weird tricorders and phases and all these things, like all these layers of problems we have, because they're not even trying to do the basics right. Except, Stuart, the damn hypo spray. The unsung hero of last week.
Mm.
There was a hypo spray, completely unchanged, right there,
Perfect TNG hyperspray.
Yeah.
Hypo spray. Yep.
Right there. Didn't get any sort of. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Orville. That's going to be good. Looking forward to that. And I heard from Tom, our contact over there, that they're also not. They're going to ignore the time limit thing, so the episodes are as long as they need to be. So expect episodes.
What's this for?
Orville.
Oh, nice.
So expect episodes up to an hour, full 60 minutes potentially.
Good.
Which is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Some good. I mean, that one is story first. You know, not people's job first. Not in that crap. Actually, story first.
Theo Mimendiminis says they need a holographic hypo spray. Yes, they do.
Oh God, holographically infuses you.
Ozzy says skeleton hands. Say it.
Skeleton hands.
Skeleton hands.
Wowza.
Skeleton.
Wowza.
Skeleton hands.
Sorry. Thank you, Ozzy. If you don't know what the skeleton hands is referring to, you're missing out. Just saying. That was hilarious.
You guys are funny. So yeah, I think there's ample potential evidence that they're linked. You could even, if you want to go less literal, if you look at the distinct colour variation, what if you had said, Stuart, that because you associate Starfleet with blue, wouldn't you? More so.
Yeah.
What if this enhanced synth thing is a result of a Klingon probe that also went to the V'ger homeworld thing, and it was much more negative, and it also, same exact setup, but it ended up becoming this very violent living synth, which then, wants to protect other synthetic life, and it just destroys life that isn't. That's why it's red. What do you think?
No.
It's just evil V'ger.
I think no. No, that's an awful idea.
But it's
what are
red,
the odds? There's Voyager 6 and like a Klingon probe go, oh, hey, how's it going? Let's cruise together. Oh, look at that wormhole, oh my god.
It's Kalish 4.
Yes, Kalish 4. That's great.
What would that be done down to? So, Kalefa.
Kalefa. Yeah. Ensign Ricky puts in $5.
Dude, you're killing it. Thank you.
If one thing Seth MacFarlane proved to the world that you can take an old aesthetic, polish it off, and you make it acceptable and successful. Seth Trek.
Yep.
Yep, and we've been saying that all along since 2009 when fucked everything up. Where you could have done that properly. But
Yeah.
I would just like to create our own Star Trek thing and just say, look what we can do.
Yeah.
Bastards.
It's like, give me 1 million an episode, which is like, give me 7 episodes, right? So the price of one of your episodes for an entire season, I'll be able to successfully make you a successful TV show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That people will like.
I mean, it might not be groundbreaking. Although I've talked about possible. Although to be fair though, just thinking about it, I remember I pitched you ages ago that I would bring in because the Star Trek universe, like, it always gets stronger and stronger, especially with the yet to be mentioned armor plating from Voyager and all that stuff. Which is kind of good, it's what we mentioned, but still, you need to have a threat from another galaxy. Obvious choice. It's another unknown. And this is another threat from another galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what if this is the race that was warring with the First Federation? What's in their galaxy?
No.
The Baylock killer.
No.
Yeah, but I hope another galaxy and not just, like, other dimension, because make it easy, you know? They killed their own galaxy. It's fine. That's the robot galaxy, you know? Synth galaxy.
Yeah.
So it was the very last super chat then, guys.
I have no hope for this last episode.
In Thrib says first version is our galaxy. Was it? I thought it came from a different galaxy. Because they're more powerful than anyone. They're never mentioned again. I thought they.
What came from our galaxy? What?
The First Federation.
No, they're in our galaxy.
Oh, then why don't we ever see them again? Because they're more powerful than us.
Just because.
Oh.
But no, they're definitely in our galaxy.
Oh, I'm thinking
Andromeda.
Yeah,
Andromedans. They were from Andromeda.
I'm mixing. I'm putting those two together in the same box.
And they even mentioned that perhaps the Doomsday Machine also came from another galaxy. So, yeah.
Yeah, final super chat, and we can head off. Well, I'm tempted, Stuart, because you have to go eat. But it's only 9 or 11 for me. I'm tempted to do a test round with the audience of one of the games. As like a first gen test.
I want to be part of it.
You can always grab some food and come right back.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Okay, boo.
You do what you want to do. It's fine. Skeleton hands. Oh, Ozzy. I guess we're not gonna get another super chat, so it's fine.
Oh, that sounds like a dare. Like a.
I just ran out of energy though. It's like I have nothing else to say because I don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think we had our. I mean, I think it's a very plausible theory. It's like the Law One tomorrow. It's like it's amply plausible.
I think there'd be a lot more to talk about tomorrow than I thought. There'd be a lot more to talk about this one, but then I got into it. It's like, oh, wait a minute, there's not much to talk about.
Midas is.
What if the Q are synths? No.
That would be a shame. What is saying the ancient race were the Takon? Well, we know they were the Takon. They've already confirmed that. Zarax do some model scratch building for us. That would be called kit bashing, and that's not very exciting to watch or interesting. And no.
Goodbye.
It's the Sarlacc
It's the
pit.
Sarlacc pit in space, yeah.
But what does telling us do? Well, it tells us that they move the suns, and that's they died because of synths, which is fun. Good reference. Smart reference.
Foley has VR, right? Gonna play Half-Life Ilia. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
You've heard of Half-Life, haven't you? The very famous video game
Yes.
franchise?
Yes.
They made Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, and then never made 3, which is one of the big internet memes. And so after like 12 years, they finally announced another game. And it's a VR game called Half-Life Alyx, which is meant to be a very clever VR game. So it's their big like next game.
Is it on PS4?
I would assume so.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah. Wow. It looks like 5 seconds and we just had a really great end. Nice.
Oh, yeah, no shit. Alright, Jersey.
Hard and Thrubis, they haven't confirmed to Con, he just said they move stars. He didn't say they moved those ones. Well, no, he did confirm that Tacom Empire that was destroyed. Those are the ones that got wiped out. Although now we know they didn't move the stars. But yeah, weird. Sorry, it's weird.
Jersey, $5. I'm heading out, so have a goodbye super chat. Going back to watching Stargate 1. It doesn't depress me like Picard has been doing. There you go. Fleetpaw Swiftback, $5. Throwing coins at the captain and commander. Thank you.
Throwing coins at the captain and commander. Da 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 da.
Ow, that hurts. Don't.
Oh.
Just throw us bills instead. Leon
Wow.
McInnes. puts in £15. That's
Thank you.
awesome. I'll just slide this in before the end. Thank you very much.
Oh, you've done a
That's
lot
very
to help
appreciated.
right there.
And Paul N puts in $2. Why did it have to become Battlestar Picardia? Dun 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 dun.
Because they're not the most creative people. That's literally it. And it's sad. But, Stuart, we'll end on a positive note. This season of Picard is still better than Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
On that note, we'll see you tomorrow talking about Star Trek Picard. What are we talking about, Stuart?
Is the new soon actually lore
And
thing?
a lot of evidence to say yes.
Well, we say that, but we'll probably get into it like 10 minutes ago. Oh, we're done.
Yes. So we'll see you then. Have a great night. And have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.